now I want to talk quickly about trade requests in Engine. And the way this is going to work is we have, as a player, we have gotten some coins. We name the item coin, but that is a token on the actual blockchain. Those are coins, and we get them by picking up coins in the game. And now we also have, of course, our admin account, or our developer account, admin account, that holds a lot of the token. It holds large quantities of both coins and now our second item. And you know that in the beginning, when I showed you the JSON files, I had also created an item that was called sword. And I don't really know how this is going to, I'm not going to implement, the sword in the game. I'm just going to show you how we're able to buy a sword using our coins. So that is the goal of this. We want to buy swords using our coins, and then it's up to you. I'll leave it up to you to actually implement the sword in the game, or when you create your second item, when you create your second item, you can create something else. You don't have to create a sword. I have created a sword because I did that previously, and I thought I would reuse that. So I'll use a sword. You can create whatever you want. The point of this is not to build a game necessarily. The point of this section is to show you how do you trade in between tokens in Engine. That is the point of this, not building a fun game to play. So the goal is for the player, when they have collected enough coins, let's say in the future you might require 10 coins to buy one sword or whatever, but that doesn't really matter for now. We could just make it easy and say 1 coin, 1 sword, in order for us to, so we don't have to run around all day collecting coins. What we're then going to do is we're going to have in our game, we're going to have a little button that says shop or something like that the player can click on. Then they will be taken to a new scene, the shop scene. And at the shop scene, in the future, maybe you could have a whole section of just items, whatever, different items of different colors, different type of items, different prices, and so on. I'm just going to implement 1 item in the shop, but you can build out 10 items in the shop if you want to, right? But we're going to have a shop scene where you once again will be able to press a button that is the sword button. So you want to buy the sword, and it's going to say the price, price 1 coin. And then what's going to happen when you press that button is we're going to initialize let's see, let me just separate these two. We're going to initialize a trade request, and the trade request will be initialized from the player to admin. So the trade request is it's a request. I ask you, do you want to trade this item for this item? Do you want to trade item X for item Y? So it's a request. So trade request from player to admin, where I will include in the request, I want to trade 1 coin for 1 sword. And that means that the admin will get the coin, and the player will send the coin to the admin, and admin will send the sword to the player. And this is done in a completely atomic way. So at the same time, these will be exchanged over the blockchain, and they will have switched hands. And in other situations, you can use trade requests to trade peer-to-peer, to trade peer-to-peer between players, to have a marketplace where you can put up your items for sale and so on. But we will create a trading request from the player to admin, 1 coin for 1 sword, and then the user will have to accept. So this is step 1. And then step 2, player accepts. And what that means is that the player will get a notification in their phone saying, hey, do you want to trade your token for a sword? Do you want to trade your coin for the sword? And then the player has to accept that on their phone. And I'll show you this in a second. It's pretty cool. And then what's going to happen is that the trade request will be broadcasted over the blockchain. And when that has gone through the blockchain, that trade request has been put on the blockchain, we will get a trade ID. And this trade ID will then be used by admin to accept the trade. And that will include that specific ID. And then we will send another request to the blockchain, which the admin also has to accept in their wallet. So it has to be accepted in the wallet as well for both the sender, well, for both parts of the trade. It has to be accepted in the wallet. So both the user will have to accept it in their phone, and admin will have to accept it in the admin wallet. Luckily enough, as we've implemented it, our admin wallet is the wallet daemon, and the wallet daemon automatically just signs transactions that come into it. So this part, number 3, will for most part be automated because we don't have to sign anything manually, even though we have to send the request to the actual admin wallet. You'll understand this better when we actually implement it, but I thought it would be a good idea to get an overview of this before we actually dig into the code. But now, in the next video, we're going to set up this in the GraphIQL editor, because you need to have an item and you need to have a URI for the JSON file if you actually want to have an image and description and so on. And you'll also have to mint and send this item to the admin account. So I'm going to show you this in a second.